Honestly, mate, the doctor had to use both hands to pull it. Oh, hello and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast with me, Danny. James is on his way. He'll be very much soon. I think the English phrase is. Kev won't be here today. Unfortunately, he's feeling a little bit poorly, so get well soon, Mr. Kevin. Well, we've got an exciting podcast for you today because we have the Northern Picasso of rap. It's Mr. Jackcity. Welcome and congratulations on your debut on NALP. How are you feeling?
Very good, man. Yeah, thank you ever so much for having me on. I've had some watermelon in preparation, so I walked at shop for that. So it's
So you got some steps in then?
yeah, it's only around corner though. But the watermelon, body's a temple and all that stuff, isn't it? So I always feel on top form when I've had a suck on a bit of a watermelon. To be fair, so
We all love good suck, don't we? We all love good suck. You can't go wrong with good suck. Suck of melons, yeah, melons for any kind of bananas, yeah, we're all right. But yeah, welcome to the podcast, mate. As you can tell, it's already going swimmingly. What we'll do is we'll talk about what's happened in the past 7 days, and it's right. I suppose whilst I was doing my best Jack Sparrow impression in the Caribbean, mate, were you watching the Sheffield game?
I was indeed, yeah. I'm losing track of like which games have been at home and which games have been away and whatever, because obviously it's been crazy last minute jobs, hasn't it, for the past few. So
oh yeah,
it's just
were you there for the Sunderland one?
Yeah, man, yeah. To be honest, that one was just like I didn't know what was going on. It was so crazy. Like, the last it's literally like, and I said it in my podcast like as a bit of a joke, because I don't normally like saying limbs. I feel like I'm trying to be down with kids or something like, but it truly was like I had both my brothers with me as well, which is quite rare that we all get to the same game. And like our John didn't actually have a seat. Well, he did, but it wasn't next to us, and we just crammed in. So we were already crammed in. And then it was mental. There was literally bodies everywhere, over top at seats, everything. It was crazy. Mint atmosphere as well.
As the cool kids say, scenes.
Scenes, yeah. Scenes and limbs, yeah. To be fair, I don't even know if limbs is down with kids, is it? I just thought it.
I don't know. Is that sort of our generation?
Possibly.
Or is scene? I don't know. I'm not allowed near kids. That's what the judge said it was that or prison. Anyway, the Sheffield game, mate. Were you nervous going into it?
No, I don't get nervous before games, man. I'm well up for them. I'm really excited about them. I think if you get nervous before watching it, I don't know what you'd be like playing it, but it's like I love the big games. It's what you watch football for, isn't it? In my opinion, I understand like there's a bit of butterflies, and it's a big one, and like I get really radgy, if we go 1-0 down, it's like because that were badly wanted to win that game, because I'm not mad keen on Chris Wilder either, even though I like him being there because I like the football's about characters in it, and you do want the badges here, yeah. Badges always here. But yeah, football's about characters, and it's like Chris Wilder's a pretty good one in it, even though I don't particularly like him, but yeah.
It's very much the old ham face meme, wasn't it? I mean, I were nervous, but I couldn't watch it because I was like in the middle of the Caribbean Sea just to show off. But the only way I could watch it really was in like a television, and Sky Sports News was there, and I was 4 hours behind. So
the game will still been on though, won't it?
The game going on
behind, but it's still on.
Watching, I was literally just watching the
come on
ticker
4 hours later though.
No, just to clarify, I want stuck in time in some sort of like Christopher Nolan film or something like that. But it was just like I was watching the ticker, and then 15 minutes in we concede the goal. Now I've been quite critical of Ilya Melier, mate. How did you feel about that? Because at first it came up as a Melier own goal, because he had a bit of a few flaps moments before that. Now, as soon as I saw Melier own goal, that was it. I had to neck 2 pina coladas because just so we all know I was in the Caribbean. Just I need to brag that. I won't boss anymore. But in hindsight, in my opinion, right, it looks like he's gone to grab it, but he's slipped and the momentum's pushed it in. I don't know about what you think, mate.
I thought it was an horrendous header. The lad that whoever wins the header on the back, So he's done Mez in that sense because he's edited it and I can't believe he's hit the post with it. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought he'd edited it back, and then I thought that is Mez's fault because even if he's sort of slipped, he needs to sort himself out, doesn't he? But because of how it had come off the post and then at him, I did proper sympathise with him. To be fair with that one, I thought there could have been a bit. I don't know whether it was Firpo or Bogle at back post or something. I thought there could have been a bit stronger, maybe the self and get towards ball, but it was just a bit manic, wasn't it, that goal? I'm not blaming Mez for that one, to be fair. And I think if the mistakes like the Sunderland one and stuff, if that hadn't have happened, I think everybody would have gone a lot easier on Mez with that. The ball's in, that was a tactic, wasn't it, when they were launching them in?
Yeah.
Long throws and stuff. That interesting as well. That was the first team that have proper put it on Mez, isn't it, really? I'm surprised more people haven't just pumped it into the box a bit and really sort of seen what he's got. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got away with it.
Yeah.
Not got away with it. I love Mez. I want him to do well, but in even the game after Sunderland, they just sort of left him, and it's like no pressure on him at all. You'd think they'd all be really sort of trying to target him. Like any weakness, you'd try and pull out, wouldn't you? And that's obviously kind of how Wilder is, really, isn't it? That's his type of football, isn't it?
We're talking about Meslier, so let me just drop this guy in. Hello, James. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, mate. How you doing?
Right.
All good?
Yes, mate.
Yes, good. We're just talking about Meslier, mate. And obviously, at first I thought it was his fault, but looking in hindsight, it looks like he's just slipped and knocked it in with his palm. Jack made a good point that Tyrese Campbell, was it Tyrese Campbell? It was just a shocking header. He's missed from point blank. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, he's made a great save initially, hasn't he? He's sort of tipped it onto the bar, and then it's just a bit of commotion. That goal, he absolutely should have scored, and the celebration that he did, knowing that he full well missed that, is an embarrassment to that man. Jesus Christ! But it's unlucky, wasn't it? He's coming across, he's hit his hand, whatever. But he was just shaky before. But it weren't just him that was shaky. We all started quite shaky. Crosses weren't getting closed down. And there was a lot of pressure on him, like that first one where he sort of Groves headed it off. That fucking Sosa's got his arm over him and everything. So they were definitely targeting him. And because of the big game, it probably got to him a little bit. But the goal, I think, helped him a little bit. He recovered after that, and I think he was solid after that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate, that goal, I think, for him.
Yeah. I mean,
he did redeem himself, didn't he, as well, to be fair? Second half, that one-on-one and stuff where he comes out, it's excellent, that. He's a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's class.
I don't know.
I think it's waves of confidence, and I think sometimes, I mean, we can't speak because it's all in his head, but it's a lot of pressure, that number 1 shirt for Leeds United, and I think when he makes mistakes like that, he must think it's the end of the world. We're angry. I mean, when I saw own goal Meslier come up, I was like, do you know what I mean? I just couldn't help it. It's crazy. But like James says, I think has he got out of jail with the results twice in a row? Jack?
What, out of jail from the own goal?
As a team got him out of trouble, yeah.
I think they should.
The Sunderland.
I mean, maybe I'm dodging your question there, Danny, a bit, to be fair. Sorry, man, but I think they should be getting him out of jail as well. That is what it's about, though, isn't it? The game. Do you know what I mean? You pull people out of the fire, don't you? When with the Sunderland one and stuff, he didn't give us a great deal of time to actually sort it out. With having about 2 seconds to sort it. So, that was horrendous. But I do still think he's young, and I know everybody don't like hearing it, but as far as a keeper goes, what are most keepers doing when they're young, really? He's got a lot of wealth of experience for how old he is. I don't know what his ceiling is. It might end up never being able to get rid of the mistakes, but if it shows enough for me, if he can obviously get rid of I don't know, I'm contradicting myself, because the errors are the only thing you don't want him to do is just the errors, isn't it? If he just didn't, if he don't make a world-class save or whatever, you're not really bothered about that, are you? If he goes in top bin, you just think, well, no keeper's set. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. It's the 2-1 up and it's rolling past you stuff where you're like, oh, don't worry about the world-class save, man. Just catch that. Do you know what I mean? Just catch what I think I
Yeah.
could catch. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what
Yeah.
sort of defines keepers. But I say it all the time. But De Gea were awful when he were young at
It was, yeah.
Man United. He made
Yeah.
loads, and then he ended up being amazing for him. So, and they've struggled
Yeah.
to replace him since. To be fair, not that I care about how
Well,
good or bad they are, but
they've not, in my opinion, they've not replaced him very well either.
no, they haven't.
With Onana. What's his
He
name?
is
Onana.
bad.
What's his name? Thank you. Yeah, I was waiting for that to land. James, Jack touched on it there. Like, has Millier reached a certain level and plateaued? And do you see him like, how far is his ceiling from now? Do you see him? I mean, you've mentioned before that he'll probably go to another team and then they become France's number one. Do you still stand by that?
I do still think there's a player in there, and for a goalie, he's still relatively young. You know, they get really good when they get into the late 20s, early 30s, and that's when they really start showing their experience and that. And he is very experienced, but he's still very young. I reckon he just needs to bulk out because he's massive. And maybe the altitude as well gets to his head a little bit because he's so high up there. But if he just bulked out a bit, no one would get near him. But he's I guess it's just to keep his reflexes, I guess. But yeah, there is one in there, mate. Maybe whether it comes out or not, I guess it's down to him, really, isn't it? So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. I did after there's had a few howlers this season, and I made a meme which relatively went viral. It was Mel the Dragon. I don't know if you've seen this. Me and Photoshop. But yeah, I won't bully him too much because I think like in the initial shot, a good flick, he got it onto the bar and so and so. But he sort of settled into the game. But yeah, that's. What about you, Jack? Do you see him biggest ceiling before we move on to the rest of the game? Do you see him going higher than he is now?
Well, there wasn't any doubt in me initially when we first sort of saw him because I do think he's super calm and stuff. I used to call him Iceman, like he's ice cold, isn't he? But the problem is when you see a few frailties, you really start looking for him, don't you?
Sometimes he just mounts.
You are.
Sometimes he just mounts.
Mounts.
Yeah.
Melts. As in melt.
Melt.
The ice melts.
It sounded like you said mounts. Like
I thought you said mount
who?
Yeah.
Rodon.
Sorry, it's my shit mouth. It's my shit mouth.
But, to be fair, with size of him, like James says, with size of him, it frustrates me a little bit that he's not horrible because he must be. He's about 9 foot. He's a huge lad, and I can't believe he's not just coming out with elbows and knees and lot. Do you know what I mean? Just being horrible against players, like you don't even have to be physical really as a keeper. Just be. You're so much higher up than everybody else. Right? You got your arms on top of it as well. Yeah. Get your knees out and get them in. Because people won't want to go near you after a bit.
He's spindly, isn't he? He's quite tall.
If he does bulk out a bit, though, he'd be a Adonis, wouldn't he?
Going in for Mr. Universe, wouldn't he?
He would be a Greek god or something. He's tremendous.
Right, yeah. So
just stand in the goal like that.
He could, though, yeah, before penalties and stuff. Be meant before a penalty, that.
Leaving it like that. Yeah. Right, yeah. So moving on, we actually eventually went on to equalise. But did you think the first half, Jack? Because I think I saw one of your tweets like you thought the first half an hour we played well, or did play well, and because we credit to Sheffield United, I thought they played really well. They pressed us really well. But then we obviously came to life in the second half, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought
we had the chances, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was a really good game. That
was
as expected, but then they came out a little bit more when they came to our place. They were a little bit. They weren't quite as expansive or whatever the decent word would be to use, but they were a little bit more, and they were bang up for it. I think they wanted the win. Really, we were both going for win, so it was good. They first 20 minutes they were brilliant. Then we came back into the game pretty majorly. I thought pretty much for the rest of the game. To be fair, I thought they still had their moments, but the pressure and stuff we can apply when we actually get the ball moving is amazing. The one thing I would say what they did really well was, which I think we could do a little bit more of, every time we won the ball, they'd just do something like a bit nasty, a bit gamesmanship, pull somebody down, or like instantly. They didn't let us get any sort of rhythm in that first 20 minutes, and it did put us under the cosh with it. And I think we could be a little bit more like that. I think we're quite nice. Do you know what I mean? I think Ampadu adds that bit of bite in middle. He's quite nasty. Like, and he's a bit, there's a bit of shithouser he goes on and stuff with him. But we don't, other than Ampadu, I don't really see, and I don't, I'm not bothered for it. I don't, I'm not on about going flying into a dumb tackle and trying to annihilate somebody. I'm just on about the, just breaking stuff up, stopping their momentum, basically. Because they were flying.
Yeah.
Really did have a good 20 minutes.
That tackle on Solomon by, I forget his name, but then you saw the camera where he turned around and went, wow. And it's like, you can use the imagination and what he said. So I'd have used that as fuel. James, what do you, same question to you, mate. Like, what did you think from that period between we went down to when we eventually equalised? We did have a chances.
I think that there was an emphasis from them to really start quick, start fast. The thing that I bank on us is fitness, and we don't talk about our fitness enough. I think we're really fit. We keep going and going and going, but we stay at a sort of level. I do believe in the first part of the season there was this sort of like plan to be like get a couple of goals, lay it off a little bit, not push too much, and then once the second half of the season's gone in, we really push on a bit more. But I think they just needed to be sort of fitter than us for the first half an hour, and that's what you've seen. And then I knew they would wear out. I knew it won't last. And then when we started like putting some passes together, I thought, we'll score. I thought we'd score before half time, to be honest with you, just to shut them up. But like we had to wait a little bit. But I was confident that we were going to score because it just started mounting and mounting and mounting. And it's like they scored and they were like, shit, what do we do? And they sort of let off a little bit and panicked a little bit. So I was confident that we were going to get back into it. Yeah.
And we eventually did. Yeah, you're right. By this young chap, Super Dan James, he with a lovely floated cross, and then out of nowhere, Sir Firpo, who grew wings on his feet, nice header into the corner. A well-taken goal, Jack, no?
Firpo's no joke, is he?
Mate, and I tell you why, no wonder the Dominican are playing him up there. Do you know what I mean? Up top, top goal scorer internationally and for Leeds United. Obviously, we'll talk about the goal against West Brom, but I mean, what a goal! I mean, how did you react to that, mate?
Well, he'd had a harder chance in air as well 5 minutes prior, and it's like my man Firpo only needs one go, and then once he's learned that, that's first sort of attacking header I've ever seen him achieve. And then I thought, right, he's got it now. He knows what the deal is. Gets another chance, and then it's in, and he'll never miss an header again. Is my point basically with Firpo. If he wins that ball, it goes in. Like, it's just goal bound. But yeah, what a beast of a god! I don't think there's a player like Firpo in the world, to be honest. What a journey we've like been on with him. Do you know what I mean? And I actually, crazy in Prem, but we were really bad. I actually feel for him a little bit because and he were lampooned a bit, wasn't he? I don't know if that's the right word, but
lampooned. Yeah. Wow.
I think lampooned actually means tired or something, though, doesn't it? To be fair, but it seems like a funny word, so lampoon will do. But yeah, he sort of got a little bit like ridiculed, didn't he, and stuff, because his defending was suspect, and he did wander about significantly.
It was lampoon's defending. Yeah, I get you.
It was everywhere in a good way, but also in a really bad way. He basically has a free role, doesn't he? Because what is, I think Farker's just let him go. To be fair, like what James just said there, like I think Farker is really letting him, rather than us being sort of more pragmatic. We're still pragmatic, but he's really letting us go for 90 minutes now. He's proper. Farker's in tune with the team that he believes in. He thinks everybody's got the role proper sussed and sorted, and I think that's why he's letting them go, and we're able to pile this pressure on that we're doing. And Firpo and Bogle are just a joke when they get going, and because they're unreal, aren't they? Them two. It's literally like having two. They're like centre midfielders bursting through. It's crazy how they get forward, because it's not just wide. You expect the wing backs to, if they're forward thinking, to be wide, but they're not. They can be quite narrow as well. Like that's why Firpo's winning headers in box, like as a number 10 or something. It's crazy.
But we're not relying on a left mid or Rutter, like Somerville and Rutter. We're not just relying on them to get goals. It's coming from across the team. Bogle, I think who's not scored this season? Probably, Tanaka's got a few now.
Rothwell.
Ampadu. Rothwell's not scored, and he's due a screamer. he's due a screamer. It's rough. Will. Before I come to you, James, for the same question, I need to address something, and it's our local resident Icelandian, Einar. It came off in the first shower I got home, mate. You know, I'm British. I'm just milky white. You know what I mean? I'm a milk bottle, and I've got this. Can you explain us this, Jack? Danny and James, please acknowledge the great Badger. Are you Bodger? Remember Bodger and Badger from back in the day?
No, but I'm going to use that.
Smash.
That is the next. You've just opened up the next step, I think. What's he called? Bodger. Bodger and Badger.
Bodger, yeah. Remember Bodger and Badger?
I don't know. I feel like if I see it, maybe.
I don't know what's going on.
It's about 90s kids TV. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm surprised I don't. No, I don't want to move. I'd never want to move on from Bodger and Badger, to be fair. The Badger's the microphone, basically.
Oh, right. I see. Right.
Okay.
There you go.
It's become a thing.
There you go, Ming 59.
Right. My Badger.
Tribute.
Yes, Ming.
What about you then, James? Furpo.
Furpo. I like Furpo now. I like the way he plays in this league. In this team, I mean, you know, he's got very good players around him. It gives him the opportunity to float up in central forward positions. I still worry if he was our left-sided defender in the Premier League, because I think we'd get a lot more exploited. But I'm really happy for him. He's really good. He's really good there. He sort of found his level. He could probably play a little bit higher than this level, but yeah, he sort of found it, I reckon.
Do either of you think he'll sign again?
Don't know.
I don't.
He's
Maybe
going to go for a fee in the summer.
Well,
I think he'll go back to Spain.
Yeah, I think he's got more options, hasn't he, if there's no fee there. So I think potentially, I honestly, personally think, and it's total guesswork, obviously, but I do think Leeds will have offered him a contract, because if he's not, it depends what money he's on and stuff. But I doubt that they'd just not offer him one. I can't see why they wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's just a year.
Yeah.
That, you know, because ultimately we're going to be very short in left back if he's not there. So, but if he signs, even if it's for a year, and then, I mean, some people have been saying to sign him, get him to sign a contract and then sell him. It's like, well, nobody's going to do that. And he's not going to want to do that, is he? Why would he do that? It's like, oh, yeah. So that, because that narrows his options down, doesn't it? I honestly think as a free and out of contract, he'll have a lot of options. There'll be a lot of, I mean, anybody in Championship will take him for certain. There'll be a few in Prem, I think, could have a go. And then abroad, I think there'll be loads of teams that take him on a free.
A Liga, yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I think, you know, and I actually think he'd be mint over there.
Unless he has like sort of agreed to, this is guesswork as well, obviously. Unless they've give him a contract and they'll say, right, yeah, we'll give you this, but it's dependent on
get
promotion.
I was going to say that,
what I mean? And if
look, it triggers a contract if we get promoted. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Because if you remember last time we went up, like within the same day, we were signing Aronson. Aronson was ready to go, dependent on promotion, wasn't it? So I remember seeing the tweet. We went up, and then
if we stayed up.
Sorry, that was it. Yeah, it's similar sort of vibes. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like Firpo. I think he's top end Championship, and he's really flourishing this season. It would be sad to see him go, and it's like you say, Jack. It's been a journey for him from his tenure at Leeds United, and you know, and I'm happy that it's hopefully gonna, if it does end on a happy note.
I've just quickly done, if you don't mind, sorry, dude. I just want to say for Firpo as well, not that he's watching, but Ellen Road, when West Brom goal, I was so happy for him. For about 10 minutes, I'd say, just everybody in there like singing his songs, and like the whole Firpo trip went through. You know, every single chant that we've got for him and stuff. And I sound soft, but he does deserve that. He's been excellent now for 2 years. It's like, he's legitimate. Do you know what I mean? He's been brilliant for us, and he did deserve it. He must have loved it, and he actually stayed a little bit. It was down the other end from us, but when the goal goes in, all the players were celebrating, and he stayed with the fans, and he was sort of like doing like a Chris Eubank pose type of thing, and he was like just enjoying it with fans. You know what I mean? I do think he deserves it. So
admire me.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of a stat for you then. Since New Year's Day 2024, only Mohamed Salah has more assists in the top four tiers of English football than Junior Firpo, 16. And that is in good company there.
And he's
Do you know
been
what I mean?
injured a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And he was ridiculed in the Premier League, but I think the entire team was shit. But anyway, yeah. So Nonto comes on towards the end, and I tell you what, I've said it all season. That Cooper for Sheffield United, I think he's a great keeper, and he's got a really good ceiling, and it's a great save tip over the bar, and it's a good shot from Nonto. I generally thought it was going in, and Firpo got the assist for Tanaka's lightly placed, carefully placed. Is it a header or is it a dink, James?
It's a little sort of flick of the head, isn't it? It's lovely. So it's
off his anime hair.
I wish there weren't a player. I wish there weren't a player on the line because it would have just sort of nestled in. It would have been lovely, but you had to sort of head it.
Glided, wouldn't it? It just softly
make it look a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lovely little header. Perfect as well. Perfect. Just what he needed. Because I think if anyone else would probably went for power and would have headed it straight at the goalie. So I think what he did there was perfect. Yeah. Oh, my little samurai.
Yeah, it's just every time we see him, it's just his hair stays in the same place. It's just literally drawn in it by an anime
It's got
creator.
different colours in it as well.
Yeah, and if he bites his finger, he turns into a massive giant. I don't know if you know any anime, but it's an inside joke. Anyway, Jack, like James has perfectly put it. I think anyone else probably tries to force that ball in or just edit down, because that's what Cooper was thinking, because he went to ground expecting it to go low, but instead it dinks it towards the far corner, and it's just intelligent footballing.
I don't think he knew much about it.
No,
not Tanaka.
I didn't want. I think that's the easiest joke ever to do as well. So I'm sorry, dude. I should have gone along with
not
it.
That off.
If I'm never invited back on, I understand
funny.
why. So.
If it's one rule we have, it's don't apologise for being funny. Only apologise.
No, but I don't think that is funny because I've stole your joke effectively. Do you know what I mean? You're making the joke, and then I've jumped in and been like, "Oh, I'll do joke." Like I've robbed it. So
no,
I feel
don't worry.
That's right.
Our viewers and returning viewers will understand.
Well, you're a river to your people, aren't you, Danny? So you don't need to.
That's I can't go to the shops without being egged. Normally, you normally get asked for an autograph, but I just get egged by him. It's a joke between me and the viewers.
That's his missus.
It's a joke between me.
It's a joke. Yeah. He just turns. Basically, he's just turning on it, and then. But that's probably genuinely. I know we've joked, but that's probably the only way it does go in. Do you know what I mean? It's not. Sometimes if you don't get it, that's the beauty of headers as well. Because really, even like a strong header, you don't. You can only angle it towards goal, can't you? You don't literally. You're not placing it. You're just firing it in, aren't you? If it's a decent header. It's like Firpo ain't picked a spot for them headers. Do you know what I mean? He's just winning header, isn't he? So that's why keeper don't know where it's going. You just never know with an header. That's what the beauty of them. But he sort of celebrated about 3 times, didn't he, Tanaka? Because it sort of thinks it's gone in, and then he goes, "Has it gone in?" And then it goes in, and then he's like, "But is it still in?" Because that guy heads it, and then it goes in, and he's like, "Right, it's definitely gone in." It goes through like he's on a right roller coaster there. But yeah, it was mint moment that.
Especially just the intelligence, just to run round, follow it around. You know what I mean? And I went
shit marking.
I went absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think of the positives. But I've actually got a picture of old Wilder when it went in. Yeah, he's not so happy, is he?
Oh.
But yeah, but then Perot with an absolute cannon of a left foot, and it was like shit off a shovel. And you can see Cooper could have saved it, but I think there was just too much power on it, James?
It was a great. I think he should have saved it as well when I seen it back. But I think it's just the speed in which it was after us going ahead. They keep saying it like they were like punch drunk. They were definitely in a different planet when we just broke on them. And he's thought, "Fuck it, I'm gonna whack this." Bang, straight in. Yeah, it was a nice little finish to the game. I think that goal.
Yeah. What about you, Jack? Is it harder than a stormtrooper on the forest moon of Endor?
Very good. Yes, very nice. He did indeed. Yeah.
What the
It,
fuck?
it was a nice way to end game as well, though. To be fair, 'cause it's nice to put cherry on top. It's sort of, I don't know. It's like once it sort of separates you as well. I always think stuff like that, where you just like you've had a bit. We've had a sort of like scrappy goal for second that sort of that wins us the game. But then Peru's like, well, no, we're not done yet. Do you know what I mean? We never feel like we're finished at this moment. It's like, we're always sort of like bang at it. And I think it's meant for Peru, man. I mean, he's top goal scorer, aren't you? Leading top goal scorer. He's been awesome, really, and he gets so much stick. He's another one, where I'm proper happy for him, to be honest, because he's been mint, and he's sometimes a bit annoying up top, try to up ball up, but they all are a bit. It's a difficult role as well, like so. And he does offer enough. This idea that he's a big clunky guy, it's like he's got some nice little touches and his little like bouncing it off of him and stuff, and little one-touch stuff. He's actually quite intricate on ball. Do you know what I mean? But just every now and again, I don't think you can't pump it forward to him, but I don't think you can with Joseph, really. I know nobody likes Bamford anymore, but that's one thing you'd say about Bamford. You can sort of just pump it at him, and he's a bit more strong. He has it a bit more with centre-back. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit more of a duel going on there, and I don't think Peru is that. Even though Peru's a big lad as well, though, similar to, not the size of Mez, and he wouldn't be an Adonis, but it could do a little bit more in them terms. But in terms of being like, when he's got a bit of time on ball, he's got a brilliant strike. And I know that one actually rises up into the net, but he normally goes really low with it. And when somebody can strike a ball when it's don't even leap grass, does it? When he's striking them like 10 yards out, it's like zips it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the Sheffield United club were so impressed with the shot, they've dedicated a statue to his left leg. And here he is. just an absolute cannon. There we go. But yeah, a lot of Sheffield United fans seem are very, very constant eye rolls. Very disappointed. I think because they did play well, but the scoreline seems to suggest that we dominated them. It was from what I've heard and seen in the highlights, it was very end to end, and it was like on a knife edge at some points. But happy with the performance, James, to round up. Yes,
absolutely, mate. I thought it was shaky start, grew into it, sort of took control. I didn't see any of the team winning it, bar a little break from them, which we sort of covered. Yeah, mate, really happy with it. It was nice because it like I say, there was that chance that they could go above us, and then we opened that gap and we went right now. We are the leaders, even with your 2 points. We are the true leaders, and it was nice to do it against them as well. Yeah, great performance, especially after the Sunderland game as well. Great performance.
Yeah, and Jack, like James just said, like second week on the bounce, 90th minute winner. Can we just obviously know what happened in West Brom game, but can we just get a routine 3-0 win? Do you know what I mean? Happy with the performance for the boys?
Yeah, I do think the 2-1s and the last minute jobs stuff that is championship title winning stuff, isn't it? So you do need, there's always a couple of them in there, that. But like you say, we don't want to be overly reliant on getting last minute winners, but they definitely breed confidence and stuff, don't they? Like last minute stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just mint. I think it gets, if you win that game sort of 2, it's like same with Sunderland. Like if you win that 2-0 or whatever, there's no aftermath at Ellen Road or whatever, like everybody's just like, oh, brilliant result, and then everybody's off home, whereas it was a party for 20 minutes afterwards and stuff. And I do think it gets into players and that, and I think they're already extremely serious and very professional about stuff. But I do think, there's a lot of players, I don't want to sound daft, but there's a lot of players here that probably don't know any sort of rivalry between Sheffield. Why would they care about a rivalry between Sheffield United and Leeds? Do you know what I mean? But in that sort of like, when you win like that and you see the crowd go crazy, it's like, it must resonate with them. Do you know what I mean? Because they'll want to have a party as well, won't they? They want the crowd up for it. So yeah, it definitely helps. But yeah, it was a mint win.
Yeah.
I actually think the scoreline is fair because it's been levelled that 3-1's a bit harsh on Sheffield, but I thought we were that good for that long in the game. you know, if they'd not got, I know this is all in hindsight, but if they'd not got the first goal and we win that game 2-0, I don't think anybody argues with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the fashion that the game went, you know. But 3-1 was, I did think it was fair. Just, you know, I know it all came late, but that's what football is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter when you win.
Well, technically, we scored their goal as well, so
exactly, man. Yeah.
So technically, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So we came out 3-1 winners in their own backyard, you know, and open the gap to 5 points. Now then, just to break it up, we will go on to guess the player. If you've not seen this before, what I'll do is to give you some statements, some facts about this player, who where they've played and stuff like that, and you've got to try and guess. I want to see as many comments in the comments section, funnily enough, who you think it is. Jack, are you ready for this week's Guess the Player?
It's a good place to have the comments, I reckon.
Well, keep the comments in this. Oh, nearly put the wrong one. Right. This is this week's Guess the Player. Joint. He's got joint nationality. I'll drop that. He's half French and half Italian. He has had spells in Russia, Italy, and France, Spain, parts of Portugal, and towards the end, he's got a similar hairline to me. I'm not going to show you, but you can guess. And quite the aggressive, short person, I'd say. So, who do you think this person is? I'll show you again. Technically, a French national, right? Spells in Spain, Italy, Russia. Who do you think this person is? I'll come to you first, Jack. Who do you think this person is?
I was hoping I'd be second, really. I think it's only fair, isn't it?
James, who do you think this... I'll come back to you, Jack. I'll come back to you. James, who do you think it is?
Short person. Danny DeVito.
Herbert. Danny DeVito is a very good choice. A very good choice. Herbert seems to think it's Inspector Clouseau. We've got Charles de Gaulle, like his cousin, DC Gull.
That was my Everest.
Oh
no, go on.
Go on then, Jack. We'll come back to you, mate. Who do you think?
I'm racking my brains, to be honest. This one's caught me proper off guard. I thought I'd be slightly more prepared for this, but
I'm assuming that's a Schindler.
Yeah.
Go on then, Jack. Throw a name out there.
Just Joe. He's small, isn't he?
Just Joe. Wow. Joe's just texted me. Tell Jack I'll see him outside. Oh, he's offering you out, mate. Sorry. No, so this is who you saw. I can tell you it is Napoleon. Napoleon, who is a great stint for France. He's also had spells in Russia, Italy, and Spain until the old Duke came about. But yeah, that is this week's Guess the Player, and nobody wins. Oh. Anyway, let us talk about West Brom. I'll come to you first, James, mate. What was your thoughts? I mean, another Firpo header we've just been, praised him for. Jack said earlier, he just can't miss an header. He's like a seal or a dolphin at the minute.
I'm going to say seal's a bit harsh, isn't it, I think.
But seals are well known for balancing on the nose.
Yeah, but I don't think they win headers, do they?
Well, the Dolphins?
Yeah, kind of. An NFL, that guy, have you never seen Ace Ventura? He gets up and wins it, doesn't he? That
what do you liken him to then?
A dolphin. I'm happy with the dolphin analogy. Just
a dolphin.
Oh, that's a nice.
Is that a fucking dolphin?
Yeah, but the dolphin also kicks a field goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to be off course here.
So James, Dolphins scored against West Brom.
Good.
I thought it was like it seemed like a bit of a respite game, if I'm being honest. It was a bit of a weird one. We were okay, but it weren't us of the last few games. And I think in yesteryears it might have been a game that we'd have lost, maybe. But still better, not great. Shit goal to concede. Just it sort of went off his head and just went over everybody, didn't it? It was a bit shit, but yeah, I'll take it on the back of what we've just done for the past, 6 or 7 games. You can't win them all, they say. So I'll take a draw, and then we'll, go on and smash a few more games. But yeah, it was a bit of a shit one, really. But I wasn't bothered about it. I was still buzzing off the other 2 games, to be honest with you. I was like, yeah,
I
crack
think,
on.
Jack, going on the reverse fixture, the 0-0 away. I mean, I was jet setting again when we played him in August. Because that were a bit of I thought we were lucky to come away with that point, but I don't think we were lucky to get a point. I just think we're unfortunate. The header, for me, for their goal, it was just nothing. No one could do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? It was just one of them, came off his bonds and just dipped under the bar and went in. But point's all right, isn't it?
I don't know what the uproar's about, man, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if everybody remembers, but West Brom were, when Corberan were there, nobody had shut up about them. So we're all like, they're going to have this title charge and all that stuff. And it's like, are West Brom rubbish now?
He did fuck all for him. He played some good football, but he didn't get anything.
That's what I mean, though.
It's like, good football, mate.
Well, no, that away fixture, man. It's rare that I'm like, my head goes, and I've rushed home from work and that doesn't matter. That's what I have to do to watch the games and stuff. But I need a bit more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're just getting battered by a team or something, I think fair enough. If you're playing Man City and you get beat 4-0, you go, well, the mint, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not at the moment, but still better than us. Possibly. I don't know, who knows. But yeah, when it was like West, I just thought nobody's trying to win this game. It was so bad. So at least that wasn't like that yesterday. But West Brom they were, I think, the 6th now, but they were 5th in league. So they're a serious team. What's happened is, I think we've all, me included, have all got ahead of ourselves, and we're all after record now. It's like we can get the points record. It's all coming down on us. Like we're getting far too in front of ourselves. You know what I mean? We're only a few points away from Sheffield. We do need to stay. We're going to draw and lose. We're probably going to lose some games. If you'd have said to me at the start of these 3 games, 7 points, you'd have had to. I think anybody, sane person, would have taken that. Still unbeaten in this run. Yeah. If you'd have just possibly wanted it the other way around, but I wouldn't in hindsight because of the mint moments we had, like James said, with the last 2 games.
Yeah. I
wouldn't want them any different. So you've got to sort of take the rough with the smooth a little bit. And if we're mourning this, I know we're not mourning, us 3, but I just think there is a narrative builds really quickly. It's like we're discussing this as though it's a defeat. We've got a decent point to a decent side who came to Ellen Road, and I've seen some right dross this year at Ellen Road, and it wasn't the best game I've ever watched in my life, but it wasn't, it just was what it was. They're a decent side, it's a decent point, and we're treating it as a loss, and that's a good thing, really, because then we're on about now some sort of a bounce back, and it's like, in reality, it's a good point, and we're discussing it as though it needs to be next game we need to get a win, and do you know what I mean? We need to bounce back from this proper solid point. Do you know what I mean? We scored a goal. I know that sounds daft, but it's not like we couldn't break them down or we didn't have any opportunities to score. We had a couple more. It was just one of them games. I don't think the boys were like bang at it, but I don't think it were. I don't think we were poor. It was just a bit of a poor game. Do you know what I mean? It was the game. The game dictates it as well. It does. So it's just how it was. Not every game can be scintillating, can it?
Well, that's what I mean. We can't have last-minute winners every game, and we don't want that. But I thought they were a good team.
I mean, I would have took it. Well. I would have took it, Dan, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, mate. Yeah, I would have.
We don't want last-minute wins every game. We'll have a draw. No, I'll have the last-minute wins still.
I know, yeah, but has that ever happened? 3 games in a row? I don't think it's ever happened. But
no.
I was about to bring it up, but Jack had to bring it up and ruin the story of the podcast. But if you'd have told me 3 games ago that we'd have got 7 points out of West Brom, Sheffield United, and Sunderland, I'd have snapped your hands off for it. You know what I mean? At any point, I were expecting. I know, and he ruined it. So I don't look as good anymore.
Sorry.
Do you know what, guys? If someone would have said to me before these games, 7 points.
How many
you know
points?
what? I would.
Oh wow,
7 points. I'd have snapped their hand off. I'd have went, yeah. Sorry,
I think
it's funny that
me.
Get involved.
Not happy with 7 at all. Need more.
You want 9?
Less. You got like
8. We need 8. At least 8 points.
Yeah.
10 points out of the 9 available. But yeah, we're still on for the championship. We're still 3 points ahead. It was just one of them games, we shouldn't lose his heads. The boys know that they've got still got work to do. What is it, 11 or 10 games left? I think 5 wins gets us up out of the next 10, 11 games. I mean, Solomon's come into his own for me the past, for however long. I think that left-hand side's brilliant with Firpo and Solomon. Don't you, Jack?
Yeah, he got a bit of stick today, though, Solomon. It's been getting pelters. You never know with online day stuff because you never know. There's just loud voices out there. And I know it's silly for me to say that when we're all online having a discussion about football, but I'm doing exactly the same thing. But I don't know why. I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can't argue that Solomon's not been good for us this season. I think it was probably the right decision to bring Nonto on for him in the past 2 games, but I don't think that means Solomon is cack. Do you know what I mean? For some reason, it has to be like one or the other, doesn't it? It can't just be like, want really Solomon's day. I didn't really notice him having this horrendous performance that I've seen it go online now that he's won at work. I just thought, like get Nonto on, switch it up. Nonto were good against Sheffield when he came on. Get him on for Solomon again. Did same changes.
I've had a few people in my mentions, right, and I've been defending Solomon, saying, "Oh, it's been a great game," but then they disappear when he has a great game. But then soon he has like misplaces a pass. The Solomon haters or Farker haters are in your face like this. see, and it's like, where have you been for the past few games? It's just pisses me off. Bogle, I think, is an absolute steal. James, we talk about Bogle week in, week out. To go back to his old club and put in a performance like that, and then just in general, I think he's had one bad game, Bogle, James. And then what's your thoughts? Second part, what's your thoughts on the Firpo Solomon? I mean, it's an amazing partnership.
Bogle first, he's been great, and I think the first game where I really looked at him and thought, he's really, really good actually, was the Stoke game, because he just absolutely dominated that game for about 70 minutes, running through, getting into the box, taking players on, defending. He's been a great boy, mate. I'm really, I think he'll do well in the Premier League as well with his running, because he's really super fit. Solomon and Firpo, great. I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky all over the pitch. We've pretty much got the best team by a long shot, best squad, and we can bring one player on now, still be walking into a majority of other teams. Like we're in a lucky position. We know that, and like when other teams and that say, "Oh, you should be doing that." Yeah, we still have to do it. But I'm like, we're just too good. We're good. We're good all over the pitch, mate. I mean, we are where I think. In fact, I think we probably should be doing better. I think we're slightly underperforming. I think there's a few games where we should have scored more or not conceded. So, we are where we should be, mate, and all the players
says a lot.
Should be putting in good performances.
Yeah, if it weren't for like 1 or 2 mistakes, Sunderland, for lack of a few, obviously we lost against Millwall as well. We could have been, but then Sheffield United also had 2 points deducted from them at the beginning of the season. So I think both of our teams should be, far away from Burnley in third. But that being said, I do think we go up. I think Sheffield will. It's just Wilder, and he always has enough just to push them up. Sorry, they can push us up in second, if you know what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, overall thoughts on the game then, James? Just
West Brom.
Move on. Yeah,
like I say, little respite. Get back on it for the next few games. Got a good, nice run against, decent teams. Coventry. Have you seen Coventry's run? They've won like the last 10 out of 11. The only loss was against us. So, 8 out of 9, whatever. Yeah, beating them was a good win by all accounts. We should have batted them about 7-0. Watford, Cardiff 7-0. It's been a good run of games. So we come against West Brom, drew it. We'll go on again. Yeah, it's just like a little respite. I'll take it as that. Happy with it.
Yeah, Jack. Compared to like your Sunderland's, Burnley's, and Sheffield United, our run isn't that bad.
Yeah, the running to the end.
Yeah, the last 10
we've got
games
through. There's
aren't
only,
that
I
bad.
think, of note. There's only like Middlesbrough, and they've actually come back on a little bit. They're half decent now, aren't they? But
We're at
Middlesbrough,
home, and then I think we've got no team in the top 6 from then on, I think.
yeah.
On the
I think
current
Joe
top
did like
six.
an average position or something. I think it works out about, I'm making this up now because I'm guessing, but I think like 13, 14 for that were a couple of games ago. So that's with them, with West Brom boosting it up and stuff. So possibly Sheffield were in there. I'm not 100% sure. So that, we do have a good run. It don't really matter, does it? That's what I've been trying to, from January, and everybody were panicking about Sheffield improving or Burnley improving or Sunderland improving, whatever they were all doing. We're not in competition with them anymore. It's not that they're not the games, you know what I mean? And they're gone now. So we're not even playing them. It doesn't matter what they do. Do you know what I mean? We just have to focus on the teams that didn't strengthen in January, that are still rubbish, like your Lutons and stuff. Just go get them beat. Do you know what I mean? It really don't matter. I agree with you, Danny, as well, with like Sheffield will push us on. If we can end up with a bit of a duel with them, and then we're actually playing a different game, aren't we? Because we're basically off at title. It's like a bragging rights as opposed to being worried about dropping out of the top 2, because I just can't see that happening now.
No, I agree, mate. Ultimately, I think we go up. I think we're just too good for this league as it stands. We're into this synergy, this purple part, the fluid motions. I just think we're just too good. And then we've got Nonto Ramazani. We're doing well when Ramazani can't get in the team, considering he was starting, way back. I think Matteo needs to. It's just experience for me for Matteo. He skied that one against Sheffield, didn't he? But it's just experience.
I was unlucky. He hit the bar though. That run against West Brom.
And no. I'm not saying I'm not digging him out. I'm just saying he's still young. And if we go up, I'd loan him out.
Just wanted to mention it.
I don't know how he engineered that out, man. Sorry, Donny.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
I don't know how he engineered the chance. It were like, I don't know what West Brom were doing. He were really wide. And then my brother next to me went, he's fucking in. Like, he was just in on goal all of a sudden. Like, how's he? I know he's fast, lad. Do you know what I mean? But he just sort of kept working over. And then he must have thought, I'm in on goal here. Like, I don't think he was, expecting to be in that position in the box. I think he probably thought he'd get pushed wide. And he were literally in on goal. Yeah. Crazy chance. And he did it bad. I thought he actually missed it a little bit, to be honest, on reflection, because he's
looked like he sort of tried to chip it up.
Yeah, it sort of comes off outside of his foot a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's leaning a bit, and it's a bit like a bit of a toe peg type of thing. Not a bad thing, you do whatever you can round when when you get a chance.
We're not taking him out. I know full well he'll be a great footballer.
Yeah, you will.
He just needs to get used to just to the league, and experience will come. Right then, one bit of major news: Ampadu is out for. He might be back for a couple of games, at back end of the season, but he needs surgery. Massive miss for us, James, or is it just revert back to the old Tanaka and Rothwell? But then again, you've got to agree with, haven't you?
It's all bullshit. So it's not real. International week's coming up, so they're like, pretend you're injured.
Oh, right.
Get in with the running. Nah, it is. I mean, but like, when he was out, we did all right, and I think like we've got enough in there. If he's not playing, I mean, I would rather him come back, but I think we'll be all right.
We all would, yeah. What about you, Jack, mate? Is it plain sailing for you? But then if Rodon has an injury, Strike has an injury, who fills that gap?
Don't think like that, Dan.
Don't
think like that,
I'm
man.
I'm just, what if? I need to get content out there, man. Get opinions.
You're gonna manifest it, you prick.
Last minute winner.
You don't like the last minute winners, you said a minute ago, so you're not manifesting them.
I know, you'd rather draw your shitbag.
Not against West Brom, I don't like them against West Brom. It's a bad omen.
Let's take the draws.
Every other team,
fuck them last minute wins. Take the draws.
We don't want to run away with it too easily. I mean, come on, boys.
You want it to go down to the last day, really, don't you? Just for fun of it, really.
Exactly.
I'm still not ruling playoff final out. That's a good day out, isn't it? So, push for that.
Beautiful day that was.
Ampadu's a massive miss, and I think, to be honest, and again, it's just total shit talks. I have no idea, but I think that he probably needs. I know he needs the surgery, but they're on about being able to rehabilitate him out there. I think what they'll do is they'll leave it to a point, and then when if he's no chance of getting a decent 90 minutes in him, I think they'll just get him ready for pre-season, basically. I think that however long his recovery time will be, will dictate when they actually go to the surgery. Do you know what I mean? So I think they'll be looking after him for a couple of weeks, thinking, again, I'm not a physio, as I'm sure you're both aware, but or a doctor, or even know really what is in. I don't even know how your kneecap sort of is a knee. Is that your bone? Can you break your kneecap? I know it's not a kneecap injury. My point is, I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but they will wait until it's like there's no chance of him getting back. Let's get him fit for next season. So I think he'll end up. I think he's out for the season. I could have just said that in one sentence from start, to be fair. I think he's out.
Yeah. Good off, yeah. That would have been a lot easier.
Yeah, that'll do, yeah. He's out for the season. Done with my physio talk. I was part-time physio, but it will be a miss. And then centre-back's a problem, innit? Because, like you say, but I don't know.
Out for the season.
Out for the season, yeah. The only thing is, as well, Farker said about what's his face? He didn't even mention that DeBayo guy, did he? He was like last on the list.
No.
He was mentioning like Gilavogi and Byram and stuff before DeBayo.
Yeah.
And I thought,
He's just like, what's your name? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you are here.
But like, imagine if he came on for the last game of the season and he does it again. He goes in for one of them. Can you imagine?
Hey, physio
like this? Physio seeing his ACL go again, like fuck's sake. No, tell you what this is. This is Bamford seeing Ampadu in the physio room when it only should be him there.
Brutal. Is that a tree or
I know, mate. I know, but at this point, he's going on. It's part of the furniture in the physio room. Yeah, Bamford. We will go into it because I know you love Bamford.
I do.
But I just feel like he's on 50 odd, is it? K a week, and you know what I mean? He's the ACLs of a wet Kit Kat. Anyway, we won't go into that. So yeah, we came away with a point at home to West Brom, which in my view is fair. But right then, let's get on to the last segment. Once I can pull it up. In the ancient times, we had this, Jack.
Top knob.
In the ancient times, the Romans called it topus nobis, and what we do is we put in the middle the names or things that have pissed us off this week. So James will give you an example. James, it can't be the international break because it's not happened yet, but what has pissed you off this week?
What pissed me off? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to say Andy Hinchcliffe again, because I've just watched us beat the two promotion rivals, and we've deserved to beat them. But according to him, they're the best teams in the fucking galaxy, and I can't stand him. I hope he falls off a curb and twists his ankle. Andy Hinchcliffe, mate.
I hope he steps on Lego at night time. Yeah, I get you. He is really annoying, and he licks the boots of anything that's Leeds. Jack, who has pissed you off this week? It can be anything or anyone.
So it doesn't have to be football related.
No, it can be anything. For instance, I will go with Trump because it was more orange than normal this week.
Understood.
And I just thought I'd just nominate him anyway, just cause.
Connor Ben.
Yeah,
he's done my head in this week. Yeah.
Forget an egg.
I didn't mind the egging. It's just he just gets on my. I don't actually traditionally like Eubank either, but I just think Connor Ben's head's gone. I think he's a knob, and that is what top knob. So I think he's been a knob.
Here's a good shout for you, James. If
I hate all blocks of beef. I do. It's all bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is bollocks. Yeah.
Jack the physio. I'm going to make a meme about that. If you need any physio appointments,
especially Hinchcliffe, I'd be well up for sorting his bad ankle out or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like some
misery with the hammer.
yeah.
Every diagnosis, he'll go on for about 20 minutes and go out for the season.
Yeah. That'll be the notes. I'll be waffling on, and then the note will just be like, "Oh, out for the season." Like, is that your notes, mate? Like, yes, sir. That's my notes.
Yeah, that's me.
Right, so we have Connor Ben, we have Mr. Hinchcliffe. I'm going to say Trump, but I think I will nominate all of them for top of the knobs. They all get a notch but next to the names because they're all effectively knobs and they've wound us up this week. So that is this week's top of snobbers.
Top knob.
Right, that is the end of the. I don't know why I did that. Jazz hands. I don't know why I did that. Right, that is the end of this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to my counterpart James, and a special thank you to Jack, who took the time to put himself through this absolute debacle of an episode, which was really good. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy yourself, Jack?
It's awesome, man. Yeah, anytime, honestly, other than a Friday or a Saturday, which is when you always ask me. So any other time, I am available.
It's good to have you on, mate. It's great.
Or a Monday, or a Tuesday, or a Wednesday, or a Thursday. Any other day but today, I'll come.
Days that end in Y. Just the days that end in Y. Don't ask me. It's only come on because I've planted a bomb under his chair and he can't move until I've turned it off. So where can people that don't know? Yeah, well, you know, I'm an effective person. Jack, where can we find you, mate? On YouTube, Insta, and what's coming up on the channels?
I thought in my house. You can find me in my house. I'm live.
And his address is.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be that bothered, to be fair, about finding me. But maybe taxi drivers that we've run away from a few times. But other than that, I don't think anybody's really after me. But no, just on City Leeds fans, Jackcity Music's my music stuff, and that's me. Twitter, Jackcity Music.
He's really underplaying this. So I'm gonna fluff him a little bit here. Let me blow this smoke up your ass. So he's really talented, really good things. Go out and check his music out. It's really good. If you like opera and stuff like that, that's the sort of thing. I'm joking. It's how would you describe your music, mate? Apart from energetic, enthusiastic.
You listen to it?
I do. I didn't really. He's on the spot. Go check it out. It's very good. It's very good music, and his channel as well.
Season.
Describe your music.
Outfit season. It's called Lil Physio, and it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Have you got anything coming up on the channel?
Out for the whole season.
Anything? Like any reviews are coming out, or they're already out?
I've just done one today, just for yesterday, and then they'll just be ship vids just every day, more or less, tick game and stuff. So yeah,
go check him out, like and subscribe his stuff. And before you do that, like and subscribe our stuff. Because we are trying to get to 1,000. We are on about 920 something, and we do want to get to 1,000 before the end of the season. Anything to say, James, before we go? Apart from your internet's a soggy wet potato.
That and see you in a bit.
No, actually, I nearly forgot. If you go over to Joe Blackburn's channel and check out the live stream that he just done, we are all taking part, which he announced today, in the Leeds Creator Cup, which is all of us from the Leeds YouTube universe, and we are going to do a football match for charity. So if you can find more details over on Joe Blackburn's channel, he went into a lot of it today. He answered your questions like a Q&A thing. It's a really good idea, and we hope to get it sorted very soon. So big up to Joe for organising that, and we'll all be there. All your favourite Leeds YouTubers, or most of, will be there. So please do go check out that video. And that's everything from us. What's the difference between an U and an R? About 3 inches. See you next week.